You're inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Harris.
All right, welcome back. And we're joined in studio by the creative mind behind Moments Exotic. Introduce yourself, my friend.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I am the owner and operator of Moments Exotic.
So tell us a little bit about you, sir. From Milwaukee? Or...
Yes, I'm from Milwaukee. I'm a fashion designer and seamstress. I've been doing this since 2016. I have a retail location in West Dallas, and I have been at that location for a little over 2 years. Most of what I have in store is lingerie and exotic dancewear, but another part of my business is tailoring and alteration. So if your clothes are too big or too small, or you need something customized, that's another service that we offer as well.
I'm smiling to myself
Mhm.
because you say performance. When you talk about performance wear, what are you talking about? Is that
Exotic dancewear.
exotic dance wear?
hmm
There used to be a store over on North Avenue. I
hmm
kind of remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Top Star. I think that's
yeah,
Top Star.
yeah. What got you into wanting to do
Well,
this form of fashion?
it's not only exotic dancewear,
No,
but
but
it's any performance wear, meaning someone who's in the circus. It's all using the same fabric, like swimwear fabric. That's a spandex, a four-way stretch.
okay.
So anybody who needs a costume, I do Halloween costumes. I do exotic dancewear. I do drag queen outfits. I do anything that someone who's a performer who needs that four-way stretch, whatever it is that they're doing. Um, I do those kind of outfits, but the majority of my customers would be exotic dancers. What got me into it? My grandmother, she sewed, and when I was younger, I was wider than I was tall. So all the clothes that I had to wear were from the women's section, and they would always be wide enough, but too long because I was short. So my grandmother had to always take my clothes in for me because of how hefty I was at the time. And I never took interest in learning from her, but she always tried to teach me. I saw her make curtains, make aprons, anything you could think of, she would make it, and it would turn out beautifully, and I would appreciate it, but I just didn't care about how it was made. I just wanted the final product. And after she passed, her sewing machine sat in the basement, and one day I decided to just pick them up and start playing around.
Did you have an eye for fashion when you were younger? Or you?
No, it just really came out of wanting to reconnect with her maybe after she passed on, because that was something that back in the day everybody knew how to sew, everybody knew how to hem and do this and do that, and that's a art that we've kind of lost in 2025. They don't even teach home ec in schools anymore.
That's what I was going to say. That's where
Most people don't know how to sew, and so I did teach myself. I wish I could say that she taught me. She tried her best, but I wasn't paying attention. I didn't care. I was a kid. But I feel like her and I have that connection now, even though she's not here to see me doing what I'm doing, I feel like she's, guided me into this career path.
when you talk about people coming to you, one of the things that we really have this very Eurocentric sense of what lines should be and shapes. But we know as descendants of enslaved Africans, we come with different types of shapes. So how important is that to get someone who takes your body into account when they're designing something for you? Is that too much air?
I'm sorry, I didn't
The
hear
air conditioner. I said, so how important is that to be able to go where we can have clothes that takes your body shape or type
Right.
into
Customized clothing, right? So anybody can go to a fast fashion store, Forever 21, Fashion Nova, whoever, and buy something off the rack, small through large, extra large, what have you. And even me, if I buy fast fashion clothes, it might fit on the top, but it might not necessarily fit on the bottom, or vice versa. And so when you come into Moments Exotic and you place a custom order, I take that person's measurement. So nobody has to feel that they are too big or too small. You can walk into a store and say, oh, this store has nothing for me. I can't fit anything in here. And then you feel out of place because it's not your size. And you feel that the sizes that they have put in place are the standard. So you feel like something's wrong with you or you're not the standard, versus the opposite in Moments Exotic. When you come to me, you are the standard, and I form the clothes around whatever size that you are. And whatever part of your body you want to accentuate, we can accentuate that. Whatever part of your body you want to cover up or hide, we can cover up and hide that. So whatever it is that you need to feel like you're the superstar, we tailor it around you versus walking into the store and seeing this model image and trying to conform to that and feeling out of place because you can't fit that image.
I know I smile because sometimes you looking at folks going like, I ain't trying to be funny, but maybe that need to be altered a little bit. Now I know sometimes we want to accentuate those things, but then sometimes it's not a very flattering. Well, I should be fair because I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but sometimes it's just not flattering.
What my grandma used to say, look like you're trying to fit 10-pound potatoes in a 5-pound sack.
Real talk. Oh, and you better not say nothing.
Right.
You better not say nothing. But I'm
Walk out the
going
house
like,
knowing you look good. And I mean, everybody deserves to look good, no matter what size you are. But everything does not look good on everybody. So if you want to walk out of the house looking your best, you need to find something that actually fits you, because anybody can look good. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but anybody can look good, even if it's even if it's the quote unquote ugliest person on earth. If they dress nice and have something that's tailored to their body,
right.
A nice color that's complementary to them, a fit that's complementary to them, something that actuates their best points and hides their worst points, you still say, you know what, that person, I might not marry him, but they still look nice. They look nice.
Debo, you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Pay attention to that.
She wasn't talking to me.
But you might have been talking about you. She wasn't talking to you.
You had a chance to stay out of that, Keith.
There was a designer named Willie Smith. Willie Smith, this was right when jeans became dress wear. Okay. Prior to that, jeans was utilitarian wear. My grandmother called them overalls, right? Mm-hmm. They were work wear. Mm-hmm. And when hippies started wearing jeans as a fashion statement, and so there were the brands then was Calvin Klein, Gloria Vanderbilt, Check jeans. Mm-hmm. But Willie Smith, being a black man, then came out with particularly jeans and pants that was geared to the shape of Bantu women. I.e., he would take into account that you might have a butt, and how he designed the line. And it became like one of the, if anybody knew anything about it, but Willie Wear was just incredible. His sister ended up having a relationship with Robert De Niro. But yeah, Willie Wear, but that whole thing that, when FUBU came out, for us, by us. Mm-hmm. So I think that when
I just found out what that meant the other day. I did not know what FUBU was.
Really?
I just found that out. Yes.
Yeah, where, you go in and you take into account that that we all have different body types, and wish that, you had a tailor, but you're right. If you're buying off the rack, a lot of times you might have to do some alterations.
Mm-hmm. And that goes for extra small sizes and extra large sizes. Like, a lot of people usually think that only larger people need tailoring and alteration services. Oh, well, you're too big, nothing in the store is going to fit you. But it's small sizes too, because people who have smaller frames, a small might not fit them, extra small might not fit them. It might fit up top, but they might need the inseam taken in, or they might be a shorter person, or, it varies. It's not always about, a plus size person. It's regardless of what you shape like, whether you shape like an octagon, I can figure out something that's going to help you out.
Yeah, and I think, like, for example, for me, I have to always go bigger sizes in shirts for the sleeve length. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not so much what's going on here, right. It's what's going on with the arms.
Right.
And because, we're doing mass manufacturing that you're putting out. And then here's the other thing that it seems to happen in fashion is that I don't know what algorithm they use to figure out we'll make smaller sizes when everything says about Americans are we're bigger people.
Yep. All those supersized meals and extra large fries, and we just
so. But and then I like when you talk about being able to accentuate your beauty, and this idea of fit. But I've seen some folks, and you kind of go, I don't know that I had an opportunity to work with a local fashion designer, and she really taught me a whole lot about lines. Like an A as opposed to a straight line, depending on who you are. Did you ever heard of Phyllis Hyman, the singer?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't know exactly who it is.
Phyllis Hyman, great singer. She died untimely. But Phyllis Hyman was about 6'1", and she was, when I say big, she was a big woman. Mm-hmm. And there's a woman who's on Channel 4 now, used to be her fashion designer, Cassandra McShepard.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so she designed because she took it. And so whenever you saw Phyllis Hyman, I mean, she was just regal because they took it. Yeah, you're going to be tall, you know, it. And so here's what we're going to do, you know, for that. So I think it's great that people, and you said you do everything from costumes to, have you done any things where you're working with plays or anything like that?
No, I haven't done any plays or anything like that. I would like to. But I'm the only person at the moment that is working in the business. I did have an assistant last year. I don't currently have one right now. So with it being just me, there can be a million things that I want to do, but God only gave me 2 hands and 10 fingers.
But you know, because you think about someone in movies like Ruthie Carter.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about the movie that just came out. What was the 866ers, or the movie on the black women in World War II? And whoever that fashion designer was, I mean, those uniforms were, wow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could just taking the deviation from what she saw, and they've been able to create that. Are you doing other things? You mentioned that we no longer do home ec.
Yes. So other things that I do also teach sewing classes to middle and high school students. Usually the stuff that I do with them is more like fun kid projects. I'm not having them do exotic dance wearing lingerie. I think the school wouldn't be too happy with me about that.
I don't think their parents would be.
Right. No, but we do things like, you know, tote bags and how to make pillows. And, you know, it's just, I like to pass on what my grandmother tried to pass on to me. I mean, like I said, she passed on the spirit of it. She didn't actually sit there and teach me. I didn't gain anything like, you know, learning from her in that aspect. But I feel like more young people need to know this skill. I mean, now if everybody learns it, I'll be out of business. So not that many people, but, you know, a couple here and there, because I mean, if you have a favorite sweater and you get a hole in it, you just paid $40 for that sweater. You don't want to throw that away, but you also don't want to walk around with a holy sweater. So if you can, you know, fix that yourself or put a patch on it or whatever, that's a great skill to have. If your daughter's going to prom dresses are crazy prices.
Yeah.
Average prom dress starting off $1,500, and that's starting off $1,500. Wow. If you get one custom made, you can order one online, and it might probably fall apart before you even open the package for cheaper. But starting off at $1,500. So if you can have that skill to say, hey, okay, we're going to spend $500 on it instead, and I'll make your dress, or you and I can make your dress together, or what have you. You buy a dress and just add a couple modifications to it, add an applique, add some rhinestones to it. It's just a valuable skill to have. And I feel like part of the reason that it's lost, besides budget cuts in schools, is because people just don't have time anymore. People are so busy working, trying to pay the bills. When they get home from work, they're tired. People don't have a lot of extra leisure time these days.
And I think the other thing is we just live in a disposable society.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you're talking about that, oh man, I'll just buy another one.
Yeah.
And that's what's generating our capitalism, right? That we just replace it as opposed to repairing it.
Right. And I'm not going to get into politics. I refuse. But with Trump and the tariffs to China, I don't know how this is all going to play out. But part of it was that any package that came to the United States that was under $800, you didn't have to pay tariffs on it. So that's when you would go to Shein and Temu and all these Chinese sites, and you would just pay just like you were ordering from Amazon. It wouldn't be any extra fee. But now, if they do, I don't keep up. I don't know if they did impose the tariffs or not, or what have you. That'll be a lot more expensive. So a lot less people will be buying from these Chinese sites if that, you know, goes through, or however that happens. So I'm interested to see how that will all play out. But having that direct access to China has contributed to us having that disposable mentality. Oh, this only cost me $2. I'll throw it away. Or if it breaks, you know, who cares? I'll just get another one. What's $2? What's $5? But, you know, back in the day, before my time, they used to have a lot more quality stuff. Like, you know, my grandma could wear the same sweater for 8 years and it wouldn't fall apart. You could buy a living room set and it would last you 20 years. Now you buy one, your kid walks into it and it's cracked, you know? So that's another part of ordering clothes custom made. I'm making it. It's not made in some fast fashion sweat house in whatever country. And it's going to fall apart, you know, when you wash it. And if there was an issue with something, you can always bring it back to me and I'll fix it. But that's the difference between something that is handmade, because everything is handmade in a sweatshop. assembly line, sewing, putting out 30 pieces per minute versus me working on an outfit and it taking 2 hours to complete that outfit. I'm taking the time and all my years of experience and dedication and hard work into crafting this piece into something that you can enjoy for years to come.
So if people might have something in mind and they would like to utilize your services, can you give them some contact information?
Yes. Our website is momentsexotic.com. Our retail location is open Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. The location is 6760 West Beloit Road in West Allis, right on the corner of Beloit and Lincoln. And you can reach us by phone at 414-207-9898.
Sir, what a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Again, Moments Exotic, that phone number again?
414-207-9898.
You're listening to Community Voice. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
The passing of a loved one is emotional enough without adding the stress of funeral arrangements. By pre-planning, you receive the desires of your heart while taking away the burden from your family. It also saves you money, providing the dignity and respect your memory deserves. And there are times when life ends unexpectedly. Please know that the New Pitts Mortuary is here to lend a helping, caring hand anytime, day or night. We are the
You're inside Community Voice on WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM with your host, Keith Parris.
All right, welcome back to Community Voice. And just, I don't know when this happened, but Jimmy Butler has agreed to 2-year deal after trade. Oh, 121 million.
121 million. Yeah, so he
Oh,
dropped
okay.
his player option and signed that so he could stay with Golden State.
Okay. You know, people, it's amazing. They'll give up the money because, again, Luka, he left money on the table when he left Dallas.
Well, they interviewed Luka and asked Luka because they were saying that his team was saying he wasn't going to sign the max extension. He came out and said that that's not true. You don't know why they traded him.
Because you're a headache.
That's the real problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the real issue.
My buddy just texted me. He's in Florida. Yeah, there were 2 people that he hated on the Bucks. He hated Coach Bud and he hated Chris Middleton.
Really?
But he had to take Chris Middleton and Bud because they won that NBA championship.
Yeah.
He just texted me, he said, about time.
Wow.
I forgot that Chris Middleton was on the Olympic team.
He was on the Olympic team.
Yeah. They were saying yesterday you think they might hang his jersey in the rafters?
Yeah. Because he's the third all-time scorer.
Yeah, and long tenure with the Bucks.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize there was something else about his little background. He had started off in the G League.
Started off in the G League. He was drafted 39th, second round.
Second round by Detroit.
And he was at the end of their bench. So when we traded Brandon Jennings, Chris Middleton was really like a throw-in.
Yeah, because I saw that they showed when he was announced. It was it Brevin Knight? One of the Knights.
It was Brandon Knight.
Brandon Knight. I know it was one of the Knights.
Yeah, it was Brandon Knight, and Chris Middleton was just a throw-in, kind of like how, some of these trades are.
Well, at that point, because he would have been on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
You could go, but who would have known that he would develop into the player that he developed into?
Yeah.
And they were talking, actually, until here lately, he was on the floor.
Yeah.
He was on the floor, and again, thank you for the sportscasters who brought back to my remembrance. It was Chris when Giannis got hurt in the championship run that really carried the Bucks.
Yeah, because to be honest with you, if Chris Middleton didn't go on that run, that 10-2 run, that we'd have been down 3-1 to Phoenix.
I see Bobby got back last night.
Oh, and he showed it.
He showed up right. If you gonna trade me, I guess he's like, "Are you sure?
You sure you want to trade 23 and 17?"
Yeah. So he got back. I got, I was just because after I watched that OKC, I'd started watching the OKC scrimmage because that's what it looked like.
Yeah, man,
they looked like the Washington Generals.
Yeah, they was out there.
You look at those players out there like, whoa, a lot of people hurt today, boy.
Doc, they could have gave me a jersey.
Oh, man, they probably would have if you would have been available.
I'd have got up there, stunk up the joint.
Man. Yeah, you get folks out, but yeah, so we'll see, man. We'll see. Maybe, I don't know if anybody could be the key, but maybe this might be enough to, have the Bucks have a nice little run. I'm going to miss Chris Middleton. I was a Chris Middleton fan. And I'm really going to miss him, but I do understand the business part of it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you want to be sentimental and hold on to folks. Like I'll go back in the day. I said, look, Donald Driver played 2 years longer with the Packers than I thought he should have, but he was popular.
Yeah.
And then what they were able to sign him for, you become a reliable. So hopefully now the Bucks are pat. They do have a little wiggle room.
Well, they actually just made a trade overnight, man.
They just got a big man, right?
Yeah, from New York.
Yeah.
New York, Jericho Sims.
Yeah.
So he's actually long and athletic. He was sitting on the end of the bench. He wasn't getting time to play because of, Carl Towns and the movement that they made.
And every now and then you go like that guy was sitting on the bench and, he should be playing now. I always love real team fans.
Yeah.
Because, their lovers' eyes are blessed because they only see the best. And they be going like, oh, man, they should be playing Beauchamp more. If Beauchamp could play,
he would play.
He'd be on the floor.
Now, I do have to say this. I do remember when the Bucks drafted Darvin Ham in the second round and had him on the bench until they finally gave him the opportunity to play. And when they let him play, we saw how explosive he was. And he would run up down the court. He was dunking on everybody. So they was like, let him play.
How limited he was, too.
Oh, yeah. He couldn't shoot.
He couldn't shoot,
but he could play D and rebound.
And that was what they needed.
Yeah.
Because he was playing with the big three, right?
Playing with the big. Do you remember that when we got Blue Edwards?
Blue Edwards.
Ooh, that dude.
Blue Edwards.
Blue was nice, man.
And, his nickname came because when he came here, he was a preemie. And, kind of that bluish tint. And that's how he got the nickname Blue.
Man, Blue Edwards was a monster.
Yeah. The Bucks they've had sometimes, like I said, the stars have to line up. Back in the 80s, early 80s, with Marcus Johnson, Sidney Moncrief, Bob Lanier. But then you also had Boston.
Yeah.
You had Philly, and you had LA.
Yeah, that was true. And I remember too in the 80s after we had the Sidney Moncriefs and the Paul Pressys, all of them, that when we drafted the Arkansas connection, Lee Mayberry, Eric Murdoch, and Todd Day.
Todd, A-Car Day.
The big three, boy.
And Todd Day could have been.
Man.
He was more concerned about how that dude had 8 cars.
Just, man.
Todd Day. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because Sidney Moncrief is also Arkansas.
Yeah.
But Todd Day, they were on that national championship team. Who was Big Baby was on that squad?
Big Baby was on that squad, yeah. It sure was.
And who was Carlos Williamson?
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah. That Arkansas team.
They had a squad.
They were a little undersized, but Nolan Richardson, what did he call it? 40 minutes of death? That they pressed you and they ran and they pressed you, man. Oh man,
that was the squad.
But
man.
didn't we get 2 of the Flintstones here too? Eric Snow and who was the other guy that played with her at Michigan State?
Eric Snow.
Who was the other guard?
Oh, the point guard.
We had Snow.
But who was the other point guard?
Yeah,
they were the Flintstones. They were from Flint, Michigan. What it was?
Yeah, Eric Snow. I
and then Eric Snow ended up. He was in Cleveland.
Big Dog was from Flint.
No, he's from Purdue. He's from Indiana.
He's from Purdue. He's from Gary.
Gary. Okay.
Yeah, he's from Gary. But who was that other guard? But they were. What was his name? Because he was National Player of the Year. Oh man. Oh, what is that dude's name? But yeah, Eric Snow. And then Eric Snow was at Cleveland. Then he ended up with Philly.
Yeah.
And played with AI.
Yeah.
That team that went to the finals.
Yeah, that they cheated us. But that's a whole nother. Because we was whooping LA all year, man.
Yeah, I don't think we would have been.
Man, listen, we was whooping LA all year. Man. I mean, blowing them out by 30.
I'm a Bucks fan, but we wouldn't go. Nobody gonna beat LA that year.
Listen, we was blowing them out by 30, man.
That's regular season.
Yeah, but man, we had Sam, we had Ray, we had Big Dog, Tim Thomas, Scott Williams.
Tim can't stay out the club, Thomas.
Hands like feet, Irvin Johnson. Just man.
Tim, the party guy.
Yeah. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you this.
I had too many dudes like, man, I used to hang out with Tim Thomas. If you hanging out with Tim Thomas, that's a problem.
Listen, man, I remember one time at this club, Rooters. We was at this club, Rooters. It was a Monday when the Bucks was playing in Minnesota. I turn around and look.
And there's Tim Thomas.
No, it's Tractor Trailer in the club with us. I'm like, bro, you supposed to be on the road with the team.
Oh, that happened with Jerry Ice Reynolds.
Iceman Reynolds.
Jerry Ice Reynolds. He couldn't stay out of Victor's.
Yeah.
And he's in Victor's one night. And Nelly, because Nelly used to hang out at Victor's, walks up on him. I thought you was sick. Jerry Ice Reynolds.
I remember Iceman Reynolds.
He could play, though.
Yeah, he could ball.
New York.
Yeah.
Played for Cofield up at Madison. But Jerry Iceman. Jerry. All right, hold on. Let me do this real quick. I know I got to go. Somebody just text me. Oh, yeah. My team.
Oh.
Yeah. Been welling off and running. Welcome new. Oh, that's right. John is a Laker fan. So I don't know if you're happy, how you feel about that trade. Yeah.
They traded Mark Williams?
No. they traded Anthony Davis. This dude is really a Lakers fan.
Oh, yeah.
Easily. Hey, let me thank Miss Diane Milner. Let me thank Sarah. Debo, thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Jermaine, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, the good Lord willing, creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go from this place in peace.